Okay, please excuse my home office. I'm in transition from a couple of jobs, but I wanted to touch base with you guys today and post a recording so that you guys would be able to get familiar with some of the issues that might be confusing you. I really don't anticipate the need for you all to sign on every week to my office hours, but I wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction and just go over some things that might be stressing you out. First of all, my name is Dr. Sands. I've been working with community college, college learning strategies classes for, I guess this is about my 6th semester, maybe 7th. And I also work for Roane County Schools. I'm the GAP coordinator and also work for Midtown Educational Center. I've worked at Rockwood and Harriman High Schools as well. I also teach graduate level courses in research, and I also teach a scholarly writing series to people working on their doctor's degrees in the field of education for Concordia University. So I have about 25 years of experience teaching all grade levels, being a principal, working with students. I do truly enjoy teaching the college learning strategies class. My absolute favorite thing in the world to teach is Cornell Notes, and many people in Roane County, both at the university, college, and high school, middle school levels have attended training sessions for me on learning strategies. And so I'm very excited about that. So I don't want to waste too much time talking about myself, except that I do have 3 children, a 26-year-old, a 23-year-old, and a 17-year-old. So my children are near the ages of most college students. I do have a lot of experience working with adult students as well. So we should have a pretty good time with this. I've been teaching online for about 4 years, almost 5 years, but this is the first course I've taught for Roane State on the web. So I'm pretty familiar with the video technology and trying to explain things and expectations. So throughout the week, if you have a question and you email it to me, I will mention it in the meeting so that when people watch the video link on YouTube, they can go, oh, okay, that's what she meant. So usually if you have a question, you're not the only person who has a question. So let me just share my screen here. And I don't have anything particular up on the screen except just the general information. Right now I have the discussions list, and it looks like many of you have already posted on the grit factor and the Lassie results. Lassie is more about learning strategies. And then when you take the Strong's interest inventory, that's the career assessment, that will help you determine possibly what might be a good future career field for you. So our course really has a lot to do with figuring out who you are as a learner and what is your potential future as far as a career. Does not mean that you have to be locked into a major or a career based on what you find on the survey, but it does give you some ideas of what you might be good at. Whenever you take these inventories, be very careful. It's easy to fall into a trap of trying to answer questions based on what you think the assessment wants you to answer. Don't fall for that. Be honest and be reflexive, meaning that as soon as it comes to your mind, answer that question. Don't ponder on it too much because you'll get yourself holed into an area and the results will totally not be what you think they're going to be. So this is our discussions list, and make sure you follow the instructions very carefully. It says post a substantial, pardon the spelling error on substantial. I'm going to have to correct that. We share all of these posts, and since I'm a college English teacher too, I notice those things. But post a substantial and detailed response to each topic below. So this is not just going to be a quick little, okay, whatever, this is how I feel, and then I'm done. This is supposed to be reflective, and it is part of your grade. One of the other things I want to look at is the course materials and the content binder. A couple of questions have come up. Question number 1 was, do we have to keep an online virtual binder and a physical binder? You are not required to keep an online virtual binder. What I would suggest is that you keep the physical binder, and when certain pieces of that binder are due, take a picture or scan that document or save it as a PDF if you've created it on Microsoft Word or with Google Docs, and then put it into the Dropbox, because I do need to be able to access it from here. And the beauty of this class is that we don't have to meet in person even one single time. So make sure that you're taking advantage of being in an online class. We mentioned in orientation that you need to be logging on 3 times a week. That's how we keep attendance and get your participation grade. So if I go into the system and look at how many times you have logged in and you're not logging in 3 times a week, that will impact your grade substantially. So what I am looking at right now is week 1. And how college is different from high school is one of the articles. Course expectations from College 1010, the 10-week syllabus, and the updated assignment due dates. I just updated those because when we redesigned the course into a 10-week format, my due dates got eliminated because I used a different format. So these are here for you now. They're in a Word document. Whenever you go into Momentum to download a document, if you just click Control P and print screen, you're going to print what is in front of you right now. You will not receive the entire document. So whenever you download important documents, and I do suggest that you download and print at school the syllabus and the assignment due dates, you click the download button, and then it will probably, if it's like my computer, it will make you want to save it. And then after you save it, you can print it after it's opened on your machine. Now, the reason why I say print them at school is that you get free printing at school. Your tuition pays for, whether it's Tennessee Promise or Tennessee Connects, or if you're just paying for it out of pocket, that tuition pays for the use of ink and paper. So make sure you do as much printing as possible when you're on campus. So these are the assignment due dates. Everything is listed as the Monday of the current week as your due date, as far as what falls in, but as far as the discussions and things like that, those are listed specifically on the assignments. There's nothing due this first week except for some posting issues, and then there's nothing due the last week unless you have fallen behind on your career services project. And speaking of which, the career services project is really the primary reason why I wanted to talk to you today. The career services project is listed under career services forms in week 1. Now, in week 1, it has the instructions, it has the proposal form. All of these items are very, very important. Now, the reason why you do a career services project is in order to maintain your Tennessee Promise funding status, you have to do 8 hours of community service. And the community service has to be in line with a career service project. So you want to use those results from Strong's Interest Inventory or other inventories to determine in what field you're going to do your career services project. So within this assignment, there is a project time log, a project hours verification and evaluation form, which is completed by a supervisor at the site. And then there's a career interview that you will do with that person, and you will write it up and turn it in. And the only other thing is that you will turn in a career services project proposal to me saying, I want to do my project here and here is why. Now, a couple of things on that. If I have a student who works at Children's Hospital, if her career future does not have to do with the medical field, for example, if she wants to go into the field of education and her Strong's Interest Inventory states that she should become an educator and she agrees that she wants to major in education, Children's Hospital is not going to work. So you have to be in line with what your potential future is. Now, there are people who cheat. Cheaters are everywhere, right? Liars and cheaters are everywhere. There are people who cheat, and what they do is they pretend their results were Children's Hospital, and they go ahead and do Children's Hospital. So it just depends on how deeply you want to dig that hole if you don't want to follow the instructions. That's just part of life. But it has to be free. You cannot be paid because it is a volunteer service hour project. If you are paid money for the service, then you cannot get the school credit. So you can't double dip there. And the other thing is it has to be 8 hours. So it can be a full Saturday. It can be 4 2-hour days. It can be 30 minutes a day for how many ever days it takes to get to 8 hours. But it is a requirement of this course. And I will go ahead and tell you right now, you will not pass my class if you do not do the career service project hours. It's probably the most important component in the career side of the course. So make sure you are very, very aware of the expectations. So this online table of contents where you have week by week is your friend. It has all of the things that we're going to do week by week. And I'm very thankful that my supervisor, Nancy Hamilton, organized the information this way. So that's the Career Services project. Now, blank calendar pages can be found here so that you can start your calendar project, which is basically using a planner and keeping all of your life's information on it, work, school, personal, to show us how you balance your time and how you effectively use a calendar and to help you with that project. Basically, we're just making you do it, is what we're doing. Then there is a Be Safe Sexual Harassment training, which is required for every single student at Roane State and probably every student in the state of Tennessee and everywhere you can possibly imagine. So if you want to look ahead from week to week, you just click on the weeks and you will see we start the learning strategies with concept cards next week. Basically, you will utilize these learning strategies in your other courses so that you will be able to practice them and you get credit for using them in other courses in our class, but they will obviously, if you use them correctly, help you make a better project and help you get a better grade. The other thing I wanted to show you for week 1, as far as the calendar expectations, we have a blank weekly calendar, and then we have monthly calendars. If you keep an online calendar, that's perfectly fine. My students, both Roane State and Pellissippi State, at the end of the day, they prefer a paper calendar. However, you have that choice. Just make sure it's something that you can download and submit to me in Dropbox in order to receive a grade. So you do receive a grade for your calendars. What am I looking for in a calendar? I'm looking for different kinds of handwriting, different colors of ink, highlighting. If I see a test date on Friday the 23rd, am I seeing on this calendar that you have planned study times? Am I seeing that your work schedule is arranged so that you will have study times in between? So I'm looking for evidence that you're managing your time with an emphasis on school. Now, I will just go ahead and tell you that in my educational history, I was married in college. I had my first child as a senior in college. I have 3 children, and I have 2 master's degrees, an education specialist degree, and a doctorate. So the entire time I was in school, I had responsibilities as a spouse and mother of children and responsibilities as a full-time employee. So I know that you're making sacrifices in order to work on this degree. I know that already. But part of your commitment is to make it a priority. And if you cannot make it a priority and it does not fit into your schedule, then you're going to cause undue stress on yourself. And the only thing worse than not going to school at all is going to school and failing classes and having to spend your own money to repeat them, because Tennessee Promise and Tennessee Reconnect funds are not unlimited. So you need to use those dollars wisely so that you can complete a program with those dollars. So I really don't have anything else except to tell you that whenever you email me, send the email to sanstd@roanestate.edu. The reason being is that I do not get notifications on my phone if I receive emails from Momentum. As a matter of fact, all of my emails from Momentum are forwarded to my RaiderNet email address. And please use your RaiderNet email address as much as possible, because that's where all of the information from the college is going to come. When you do that, I will receive the email, but if I click reply and you have sent a message from the eLearn address, that reply will not make it to you. I will get an error saying that message did not reach intended recipient. So if you need to email me, use RaiderNet. I don't mind if you use the eLearn email address to email each other, but honestly, I think it's easier just to focus on one email address, one college email address, because you have to check it every single day. The other piece of advice I'd like to give you is if you are falling behind, let me know and we'll figure something out. I'm not saying there will not be a grade penalty for late work, but this class can be forgiving here and there once or twice. So, but you have to communicate with me. You have to email me. My contact phone number, because I do work full-time at Roane County Schools and I also work part-time for Concordia University, I am online a lot of the time. So it's easier to email me, and I have left my cell phone. If you need to reach me by cell phone, please text me. You'll probably get a pretty quick reply. But please just don't text me and say, what page of the textbook is our journal on? You know, consult your syllabus and your course materials before asking a question. That's the first step in college to becoming an independent student. However, if there's an emergency or something that you just absolutely need to know, go ahead and text me and I will reply. But if you send me a text message after 11 o'clock at night, it will be the next morning before I can reply. The last thing is that we're using the 8th edition of the on-course textbook. If you use an old version, the journal pages will not match up and the journal prompts will not match up. So you'll have to figure out how to get the prompts for your journals. Now, these journal entries are not 2- and 3-sentence journals. These are thoughtful, reflective, longer written journals where you combine information from multiple sources and internalize it. So please make sure you're aware that journals are not something that should be done just the night before. Quizzes, on the other hand, you can do 3 times, and I would like to see every student get at least an 80 on every quiz. And the quizzes are straight out of the book, and you can use the book as a resource as well. So those are the main things I wanted to let you know this week, getting ready to move forward. I will communicate via, I almost said Blackboard, via Momentum so that you can receive your reminders, such as confused, meet with me online. That was for tonight. We had some problems with the link for Lassie, so I just pasted it in the news. An updated link to the due dates is there. Welcome to my class. So this is our primary mode of communication, not email. Most of the information that I send out to everybody, I send it in the news, and I will post in news at least once a week. So if you have any further questions, you can ask if you're attending live. If not, you'll be able to download the video and hopefully things will be clearing up for you. One more quick thing. There are a few copies of the textbook available for checkout in the library, but you better hurry because there are only 50 of them. If you need to check out an older version, I don't mind if you do that, but please locate somebody who can help you with the journal prompts from the new version of the textbook. So thanks very much. I look forward to having a really, really productive learning semester with you. 10 weeks. We have until the end of October for this class. So please reach out to me if you need something, and I appreciate your patience, and have a great evening and have a great first semester. Thanks.